7 easy crops that grow like weeds and produce more food than tomatoes for productive home gardens. What if your garden could produce more food with less effort than growing tomatoes? Many gardeners focus on tomatoes as the main crop, but there are several plants that grow faster, produce heavier harvests, and thrive with very little care. Some of these crops grow so vigorously that gardeners often say they grow like weeds. In this video, we'll explore 7 incredibly productive crops that can fill your harvest basket again and again throughout the season. If you want a more productive home garden with reliable, easy-to-grow plants, these 7 crops might completely change the way you garden. One, zucchini, summer squash. Zucchini is one of the easiest and most productive vegetables you can grow in a home garden. Once the weather becomes warm and the soil is rich, this fast-growing summer squash seems to grow almost like a weed. Many gardeners are surprised by how quickly a small zucchini seedling turns into a large plant full of flowers and fruit. In a productive vegetable garden, just 2 or 3 plants can supply an entire family with fresh harvests for weeks. Because of this incredible yield, zucchini is often considered one of the best crops for beginners who want reliable food production at home. The secret behind zucchini's productivity is its rapid growth cycle and constant flowering. After planting, the plant develops large leaves that capture sunlight efficiently and support fast fruit development. Once flowering begins, the plant can produce new zucchini almost every day during peak season. If the fruits are harvested while still young and tender, the plant keeps producing even more. This simple harvest habit can turn one plant into dozens of zucchinis throughout the summer. Zucchini also adapts well to many garden conditions, which is another reason it grows so vigorously. It thrives in sunny garden beds, raised beds, and even large containers with fertile soil. Regular watering and compost-rich soil help the plant maintain strong growth and continuous fruit production. Because zucchini plants spread widely, giving them enough space improves airflow and reduces pest problems. With minimal care, zucchini becomes one of the most dependable crops for productive home gardens. 2. Tomatillos. Tomatillos are often overlooked in home gardens, but they are one of the most surprisingly productive plants you can grow. At first glance, they look similar to tomatoes, but tomatillos tend to be more vigorous and resilient. Once established, these plants branch out rapidly and form many lantern-like husks that protect the developing fruit. A single healthy plant can produce dozens of tomatillos during the growing season. For gardeners interested in high-yield crops, tomatillos are a fantastic alternative to traditional tomatoes. One of the reasons tomatillos grow so successfully is their strong natural growth habit. They tolerate heat, moderate drought, and a wide range of soil conditions better than many tomato varieties. The plants grow tall and bushy, often reaching over a meter in height when well cared for. Their flowers appear continuously, which means new fruits keep forming throughout the season. As long as temperatures remain warm, tomatillos keep producing steadily. To grow tomatillos successfully, it is best to plant at least 2 plants together for good pollination. Like tomatoes, they prefer full sun and fertile, well-drained soil enriched with compost. Supporting the plants with stakes or cages can prevent branches from bending under the weight of the fruit. When the husk around the fruit becomes papery and begins to split, the tomatillo inside is ready to harvest. With simple care, tomatillos can become one of the most rewarding crops in a productive backyard garden. 3. Pole beans, scarlet runner, or yard-long beans. Pole beans are famous among gardeners for their incredible productivity and vigorous growth. Unlike bush beans, pole beans climb upward, turning vertical space into a food-producing garden area. Varieties like scarlet runner beans or yard-long beans grow rapidly once the weather warms up. Their vines can climb several meters high on trellises, fences, or garden arches. This climbing habit allows gardeners to harvest a surprisingly large amount of food from a very small garden space. Another reason pole beans are so productive is their long harvesting season. Once flowering begins, the vines continuously produce new pods for many weeks. As long as the beans are harvested regularly, the plants respond by producing even more flowers and pods. This constant cycle of growth makes pole beans one of the most reliable crops for steady kitchen harvests. Many gardeners report picking fresh beans every few days during peak production. Growing pole beans is also simple for beginners who want easy food crops in their home garden. The seeds germinate quickly in warm soil and the plants begin climbing soon after sprouting. Providing a sturdy trellis or bamboo support helps guide the vines upward and improves airflow around the plants. Pole beans also help improve garden soil because their roots naturally fix nitrogen. With sunlight, basic watering, and a simple support structure, pole beans can produce an abundant harvest all summer long. Four. Ground cherries, husk tomatoes. Ground cherries are one of the most charming and productive crops you can grow in a home garden. These small fruits belong to the same plant family as tomatoes and tomatillos, but they have their own unique growing habit. The plants form compact bushes that spread gently across the garden bed while producing dozens of small golden fruits. Each fruit grows inside a delicate papery husk that protects it as it ripens. Once the fruit becomes fully mature, it naturally falls to the ground, which is how the plant earned the name ground cherry. What makes ground cherries especially attractive to gardeners is how easily they grow once established. The plants tolerate warm weather very well and often produce fruit continuously through the summer months. Unlike some tomato varieties that require constant pruning and care, ground cherries are relatively low maintenance. As long as they receive sunlight, moderate watering, and fertile soil, they tend to grow vigorously. Many gardeners are surprised to discover that a single plant can produce hundreds of small fruits during the growing season. Harvesting ground cherries is also part of the fun of growing them. When the fruit ripens, it drops naturally onto the soil while still wrapped in its husk. Gardeners simply collect the fallen fruits from the ground each day during peak harvest time. The flavor is sweet with hints of pineapple, vanilla, and mild citrus, making them popular for fresh snacking or homemade jams. Because the plants continue flowering and fruiting for many weeks, ground cherries become a steady and reliable harvest crop. For gardeners who want a unique fruit that grows easily and abundantly, ground cherries are an excellent choice. Five. Jerusalem artichokes, sunchokes. Jerusalem artichokes, also known as sunchokes, are one of the most resilient and productive perennial vegetables you can plant in a home garden. Despite their name, they are not related to globe artichokes at all. Instead, they belong to the sunflower family and grow tall stems with bright yellow flowers. Beneath the soil, the plant develops clusters of edible tubers that resemble knobby potatoes. Once planted, Jerusalem artichokes often return year after year, making them a long-term food crop in productive gardens. These plants are famous for their vigorous growth and ability to thrive in many different conditions. They tolerate poor soils, dry periods, and even partial shade better than many other vegetables. During the growing season, the tall stems can reach 2 to 3 meters in height, forming a dense patch of leafy plants. While the tops grow above ground, the tubers slowly multiply underground throughout the summer. By autumn, a single plant can produce a surprisingly large harvest hidden beneath the soil surface. Harvesting Jerusalem artichokes is usually done after the first frost, when the plants begin to die back naturally. Gardeners dig around the base of the plant and uncover the crunchy tubers stored in the soil. These tubers have a nutty flavor and a crisp texture that works well in roasting, soups, or salads. One of the most interesting qualities of sunchokes is that even small pieces left in the soil can regrow into new plants the following year. Because of this persistence, they are often described as a crop that grows almost like a weed. For gardeners who want a hardy perennial food plant, Jerusalem artichokes are an incredibly productive option. Six. Amaranth, leaf and grain. Amaranth is an ancient crop that has been cultivated for thousands of years, yet many modern gardeners are only beginning to rediscover its value. This plant is remarkable because it can be grown both as a leafy vegetable and as a grain crop. Young leaves can be harvested and cooked like spinach, while mature plants produce thousands of tiny edible seeds. The plant itself grows tall and striking, often reaching over 2 meters with dramatic flower plumes. Because of its vigorous growth and adaptability, amaranth thrives in many home gardens with very little effort. One reason amaranth grows so easily is its natural tolerance to heat and dry conditions. In fact, the plant often performs better in hot weather than many common vegetables. Once the seedlings become established, they grow rapidly and produce large amounts of foliage. Gardeners can begin harvesting tender leaves while the plant continues growing upward. Even after repeated leaf harvests, the plant remains productive and continues developing its grain heads later in the season. When the flower heads mature, they contain thousands of tiny seeds packed with nutrition. These seeds can be collected and used as a gluten-free grain that cooks similarly to quinoa. Many gardeners grow amaranth simply because one planting produces a large amount of food in multiple forms. The leaves provide fresh greens early in the season, while the seeds become a valuable harvest later. Because of its productivity, resilience, and versatility, amaranth is one of the most underrated crops for productive home gardens. It truly behaves like a plant that wants to grow everywhere. Seven. Radishes, daikon. Radishes are often known as one of the fastest growing vegetables in the garden, but certain varieties like daikon radish can also produce an impressive amount of food. Unlike small salad radishes that mature quickly, daikon grows into large cylindrical roots that can reach impressive sizes. These roots grow deep into the soil and can sometimes exceed 30 centimeters in length. Because of their rapid growth and adaptability, radishes are often considered one of the easiest crops for beginner gardeners. With proper conditions, they seem to grow almost effortlessly. Daikon radishes grow best in loose, well-prepared soil where their long roots can develop easily. After planting, the seeds germinate quickly and young plants establish themselves within just a few days. The plants develop leafy green tops while the root beneath the soil begins to expand rapidly. Within a few weeks, the root thickens and becomes ready for harvest depending on the variety. This fast growth allows gardeners to plant multiple rounds of radishes throughout the growing season. Beyond their productivity, daikon radishes also improve soil health in the garden. Their long roots penetrate deep into compact soil, naturally loosening the ground as they grow. This process improves soil structure and allows water and air to move more easily through the garden bed. Because of this benefit, some gardeners even grow daikon radish as a cover crop. The roots can be harvested for food or left in the soil to decompose and enrich the garden. For productive home gardeners, daikon radish offers both abundant harvests and natural soil improvement. Conclusion: growing a productive home garden doesn't always mean planting the most popular crops. Sometimes the most rewarding plants are the ones that grow easily, adapt well to different conditions, and keep producing week after week. From fast-growing zucchini and climbing pole beans to unique crops like ground cherries and amaranth, these plants can provide surprisingly large harvests with simple care. Many of them are resilient, beginner-friendly, and perfect for gardeners who want reliable food production in small spaces. By adding even a few of these crops to your garden, you can enjoy more harvests, less frustration, and a truly abundant backyard garden.